What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Bocan Garage. And I know it's been a hot minute since I've made a video. Honestly, there's really no excuse other than money. The car parts I want to get to finish the Subaru are not exactly the cheapest parts. Yeah, so I guess we'll start off the video by going over what I kind of want to finish the car. I want to get the Japanese rear bumper, as you guys know. I have the rear spats. I want to get the side skirts, as you all know, which unfortunately eliminates the mud flaps. However, I do got a guy who will make me a really good set of the 3D printed arrows to go for that, so that's fine. But if you guys know, side skirts for this car are really hard to get, like at least 300 to 400. Rear bumper, another 300 to 500. The arrow kits, again, 300 to 400. And then obviously we need to finish the interior. Like, I know I could do that easily. I could actually, thinking about it, I kind of forgot that I wanted to redo the door panels, replace them, swap them out, all that. Another thing that I have done off camera, I don't know if you guys have ever seen this before, you probably have, is I installed a dash cam. So, you know, got a 1080p dash camera in the front, 1080p rear camera in the back. Pretty simple, very basic. I didn't really record that because honestly, I didn't think anybody would care to see that. It's just your standard digital camera. What I might record though in the future is me trying to modify this, so instead of having the original mirror there and it strapped to it, just like, you know, kind of have it fixed to that directly, because I don't like this being out, blocking a little bit more of my view. It's kind of annoying, but because of the design, I have to, because the other mirror gets in the way. So that'll probably be a future mod in the making, maybe. Yeah, honestly, today don't really have much of a plan because I don't have any of the parts that I want to do for the Subaru. I have the door cards, but the weather has been still cold, so I don't really want to paint them in this kind of weather. The Toyota doesn't really need anything except for shocks, just like the Subaru does. Needs shocks and whatnot. And, you know, that just adds up. The Fusion probably could use new rotors and brake pads for the front. Probably end up doing that next paycheck or whatnot. So, you know, a little bit of Fusion action for you guys. But honestly, it's just not really a whole lot. Outside of the fact that the parts that I want to get for the Subaru are just expensive. Like, it's at least another $1,200 in parts before I finish the Subaru, which I don't want to spend that kind of money. I don't have that kind of money just to throw around. So it takes time to save up the money, but also finding the part for a good price, or finding the part at all sometimes. It just is what it is. So today, honestly, we are just going to be messing around in the driveway with the pressure washer and some like cement cleaner that I have laying around, and I want to try and see if I can clean up these oil spots as best as I can. Now, this oil spot got pretty bad. This is from the Subaru, because the Subaru's leaking oil, I forget where. Oil pan, I believe. So this is from the Subaru. We're going to try and see if we can clean this up. This one over here was from the Fusion because it has a small leak, but I haven't really cared enough to go looking for it. But this is after me pressure washing it about a week ago, so it did a decent job. But we're going to see how well we can clean it up with chemicals, because, you know, chemicals work better, but that means we got to start scrubbing and doing all that fun stuff to get rid of it. So I'm going to push the Fusion back, not push it, I'm going to drive it back, and then we're going to get to our chemicals and try and see if maybe we can, you know, get that stuff cleaned up. So I'll see you guys in a moment. And in case you guys are wondering what chemicals I'm going to be using for today's episode, nothing fancy, nothing that I spent a lot of money on or anything like that. To be honest, I actually found them at job sites, clearing out and whatnot. So we got some old crud cutter concrete and driveway cleaner. So yeah, that's interesting. And then another old thing of EcoSolve 2000. Whether this stuff works or not, we're about to find out. But should be pretty simple, straightforward. I mean, you mix the stuff in with water, and then you scrub the ground, and you have at it, right? I mean, how hard could it be? Now, this is not supposed to be the most comprehensive, video of all time. Like, oh my God, this is what you do step by step to clean your driveway. That's not at all what it is. It's just me bored with no car parts to install on the cars and the drive to make a video. So, it just is what it is. It's what we're going to do. Now, of course, I want to make sure real quick before we just throw the stuff in there that if you're supposed to mix it with water or if you're supposed to dilute it or if it's concentrated or what. Boom, makes 14 gallons. So I'm assuming you have to mix it with water. It's all in Spanish, so I cannot read any of it. That's kind of annoying. And the English side is very faded out. So we're going to do my way. We're going to mix it with water and then scrub it and then see what works. Now, as for this other one, the oil and grease EcoSolve. Okay, so this one is actually how I thought you were supposed to use it. Just mix it with water, scrub, and boom. So we'll start with the EcoSolve. It's probably from the year 2000. It's old as hell, but you know what? See if it works. We'll pour in a decent amount in there. Get you guys up in here so you can see. We got a good hefty amount in there. And we're just going to mix in them with water. Now, one thing I did not really account on is how to spread this stuff. Like, obviously I can pour it into one of the containers if I had a spare one and then just spray it, but I don't have one. So I'm just going to take the sponge, let it soak it up, and then just kind of just like, drapple, pour it over the oil, because I didn't really think that part through. I'm going to be 100% with you guys. I honestly was just kind of like, I could just pour it on there, but then we would end up using all of it when I want to save some of it. I don't know if you guys can tell, but inside of all the white, you see brown. Now, I don't know if that brown is it eating away at oil or what that is. It's kind of weird. There it is. Soapy hands. I'm going to hook up the pressure washer, and we're not going to pressure wash it instantly. We're going to scrub it, but I'm going to hook up the pressure washer just so it's out of the way, and then we will scrub it, and I'll come back to you guys. So I don't know if you guys can tell on the camera, but after just scraping a little bit, you can still see the black outline, obviously. But a lot of this sudsy soap turned brown. So I think that means it's doing its job. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a scientist. I got no clue, but I'm hoping. So let's give it a little second round. I don't know if you guys can tell on camera. Like, obviously, you can still see the outline of the oil spot, but color me surprised and shocked that it actually worked a bit. Like, it's not as dark and as black as it was. Like, it literally got some of the deeper, darker oil spots out. So that's kind of awesome. So even if that's all it gets, I'm happy with that, like, honestly. So we're gonna move on to this one next, and since the same solution worked, I mean, we're just gonna use the same freaking stuff, because if you got that thick spot out, which, I mean, you can see the outline still, it's not fully gone, but I figured if I hit it with a couple more passes, it would be. I'm not gonna do that, but this should pretty much almost all be gone after a scrub. So I'm actually excited by that, guys. I honestly always think that these things are kind of like a placebo effect, like they don't actually work, like they're nothing more than just soap and water. But, I mean, as you guys could see, maybe in the footage when I was pointing out, just letting the stuff soak in, you could see brownness from the oil just kind of show up and appear in the soap. So, yeah, that's awesome. Well, color me surprised, guys, because that stain that I thought was less than the dark one actually was more stubborn. Look at that. It's still there. And in some spots, it almost looks darker. Like, you can definitely tell it cleaned up a little bit more. Like, if you can see here, you can see the lines between clean and dirty cement. But, yeah. So I might have to hit it with some more. I think what I'm going to try and do is mixing the two compounds. See if maybe that helps. Because, you know, double the soap cleaner, double the degreaser, double the power, maybe. I don't know, maybe throw a little bit of purple power in there. Kind of make it like an ultra degreaser. Actually, that sounds kind of fun. Let's do that. All right, guys, we're about to make a witch's brew of degreaser. Let's mix in a little bit of power, purple power. Let's get our other two that I should have grabbed earlier, but I had them off on the side. The Eco 2000. Which honestly so far has proven its worth, just needs a little bit more scrubbing. And let's put in the crud killer. Nice bloody orange. Let's mix it all up. And the camera fell over because of course it did, but there we go. A degreaser cocktail. So let's put it to the test. Let's see how well it does. Well, I can't really say that the ultimate degreaser cocktail really made much of a difference, because it didn't. And it could also be because, guys, I just have a simple electric pressure washer. Maybe I need something with a higher PSI, and we can tackle that in the future. But as you can see, we still got the black spots. The spot that I thought, the area that I thought would be like, you know, easier, turned out to be harder. Like, you can see the perimeter, like it cleaned the perimeter, but like the really tough spots, nope. However, on the spot that I thought was going to be actually, you know, harder, like, yeah, you can still see the perimeter, so it's like a outline of a shark or some fish in the water or whatever, but it got rid of most of it. Like, I'm very happy with that. Like, it's not perfect. It'll never be perfect unless I get, like I said, I've thought about investing in a stronger pressure washer, but more than that, I've thought about investing in one of those floor cement attachments that you put on your pressure washer. It's supposed to get like super close to the ground and brush it and spin it and whatever. But I don't know. I might invest in one of those in the future, because the driveway's not that bad, but it could be better, I guess. Like, I mean, when you look at spots like that, like, look how clear that is compared to the dirty area around it. So it could be cleaned, it could be better, but I think I'm okay with that for now. We still have some of the solution left, and in all honesty, I'm just going to pour it out on the cement, let it soak in, and then pressure wash it off, because I don't really know what else to do with it, so it is what it is. But yeah, so really, that's all for today's episode, guys. Like, it's something simple, something sweet. I just want to give you guys an update that parts for the Subaru are not easy to come by. Like, if you guys are out there and you know where to get a Japanese rear bumper, let me know. If you know where to get the side skirts, let me know. If you know where to get the aero kits, actually, no, I don't need an aero. I got a guy for the aero kits. I don't need that. But I'm not trying to pay to the moon. I don't want to pay freaking $400 for side skirts, and I don't want to pay $500 to $600 for a bumper. So, I mean, if you do have these items, be reasonable. Like, I'm not telling you to sell them to me for $100, but I'm like, you know, don't expect like to the moon from me, because I don't have that to give you. But the more I think about it too, the weather is getting nice and sunny, and it is warm inside this car right now. Maybe since the weather's getting nicer, we will actually tackle swapping out and painting the door cards. We do need to actually still debate if we're going to replace this carpet or if we're going to just paint the carpet. I need some time to go down to Sacramento and get that 93 dashboard that I want before that car gets junked and trashed. Yeah. And then there's another car in Sacramento that actually has, I think I talked about in the previous video, that has the transmission that I want. It has the rear diff, it has all that stuff for us to do a swap. But again, funds and time to get down there, because, you know, living ain't easy. But yeah. So that's all for this episode, guys. I'm going to dump this stuff out on the driveway. I'm going to pressure wash it off screen and whatnot. And see you guys in the next one. So, later.